The new series, the M series, that will replace the Q series. These in particular are replacing the Q3 in terms of the driver real estate. So it has 3 7-inch base drivers, a 6-inch mid-range, and a tweeter. But that's really the only resemblance to the Q3. Like the M Pro, this is a combination of an aluminum skeleton with carbon sides. We took this a bit to a higher notch in the construction of the carbon itself. The aluminum, the inside skin of the aluminum is actually embedded in that wings. The damping on these panels is quite a bit higher as well. But the overall structure is stiffer. Also, in terms of cabinetry, this is the first speakers that we created that has no edges. So if you look at it, it's completely rounded, which reduces diffraction tremendously. And that makes a big difference. It's actually measurable as well. When you listen, you'll notice the soundstage and the depth that's is quite a strong point with this particular speaker. So we're very pleased about that. Before, we either had round face plates and straight sides like the Q, or round sides with a straight faceplate like the S. But we never really had round of everything, including the top here. So that's the structure. We'll talk about the M-pods in a second, because that was something that was almost an afterthought to this design. The drivers here, this is the first speakers that uses all graphene woofers. The S1 is also only graphene, but it's only one driver. Here we have graphene on the base argument and the mid-range. Mid-range is very similar to the one we had in the M Pro. The tweeter is also similar. It's our 28mm diamond-coated design. It's higher efficiency than the M Pro was. This is actually more similar to the Q7 tweeter. And all together, you'll hear the results shortly. The last thing I want to talk about is the M-pods. Maybe some of you are aware of our Q-pods. This is something that we have worked on and sell for quite some time. It's a very effective way to dissipate energy and decouple while coupling products from their stand. It was never meant to be used with the speakers because they're too small, and the constrained layer damping, once the weight gets over a certain point, does no longer work. So we worked on a bigger foot that can take more weight. It was a bit of a challenge because at the same time that it decouples the speakers, it needed to actually couple the entire structure to the ground. So the constrained layer damping here starts to work at very high frequencies. So below that, it's completely inert. So you have a device that has perfect coupling in terms of low and mid frequencies, but does not allow high frequencies, vibration, and noise to go through it. In fact, the feet themselves, the lower part is completely isolated from the top. That's why there's a pin there that actually holds it together, so when there's no weight on it, it can actually fall out. So you have a structure that is completely isolated from the ground, yet is coupled perfectly, and it creates a big difference in performance. One that really astonished us, and because it wasn't planned to go with the M3 that kind of came afterward, but the difference was just so staggering that I couldn't leave it off the speaker. And yeah, that's more or less what the M3s are. It's a window for what's coming. We're starting to settle on the design, the carbon, the 3-foot tripod, call it, versus 4 also makes a big difference. And no diffraction, which is difficult to do and expensive. That top piece sits on a machine almost 3 hours just to create that 3D curvature. Questions, please.
Let's talk about your feet. Is it a first order system, high pass filter, effectively, the feet?
Yeah, I suppose you can look at it that way.
So does that frequency change depending on the weight on it?
The dampers are designed to tackle a specific range of frequencies. Below that, they just pass through energy, so they're basically inert, they don't exist. Does it change based on the weight? Theoretically, probably, but the weight is always the same, the M3.
So you have different feet for different speakers?
No, I think the range is wide enough to at least be effective for what it is that we're trying to do. So we never really put anything too light on it. It's not designed to work with lighter speakers, which we don't really have.
But in the same way you offer the M pods as a option
for lighter stuff,
for electronics.
Yes.
Sorry, you offer Q pods as products for electronics. Is there a possibility of offering the M pod
yes.
as a platform for other?
Yeah,
designs?
we actually do. I mean, we already used it at the Rocky Mountain. We put the big solution amps on it because it's extremely heavy. The Q pods did not work underneath these amps, but these actually did. And the effects are actually kind of similar. Things clear up, get better sense of space. It's doing the same thing to the electronic as it does to the speakers, funny enough.
Yeah, I meant in a way acting like, so the M pods acting as a beachhead for somebody who's got a pair of other loudspeakers.
Yeah.
And this is, so that is it something that theoretically you could offer for someone who's using another set of loudspeakers?
I don't see why not. I mean, it's not like we...
But they have to be heavy.
They'd have to be heavy.
They have to be heavy, yeah. If not, you can theoretically use the Q pods,
yeah.
But nothing that we makes it work. So that's why we worked on that. But it took a long time to figure out the mechanism that will actually couple the weight to the floor properly, because you don't want any movement there.
Unless you're Max.
Yeah, but we're not.
Yeah.
Shall we play a little bit of music now?
Please, yeah.